What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Fight Pit WWE here at House Call Sports. My name is Sammy HT. Next to me is Justin and Ollie. And today we're going to go ahead and drop our predictions for Bash at Berlin, or Bash in Berlin, rather. That's going to be happening this Saturday at 1 o'clock p.m. We're also going to be talking about the 5-card match type that's going to be done this Saturday. And is it too little? Is it good enough? We'll talk about that and a bit more. But before we get into that, please go ahead and like and subscribe and make sure to hit that follow button. If you want more content like this, please let us know down in the comment section. Before we also get started, a quick word from Vivid Seats. Vivid Seats is the most trustworthy and easy to navigate ticketing website. They have reliable and rewarding tickets with a 100% buyer's guarantee, which means your transaction will be safe and secure. You will get full service customer care and be compensated for any canceled events. And it's got the only ticket rewards program around. And what that means is that you can go to any WWE event at the low price of our Vivid Seat prices. Go hit the link in the description and go sit vividly. Yeah. Now, Bash in Berlin is this Saturday. I'm personally excited, as I am excited for every PLE that WWE drops. However, unfortunately for me, I have the unfortunate thing of having this habit, Justin and Ollie, and this is a habit that I gotta check and I have to work on. It's checking Twitter. And Twitter sucks. Okay, let me make that very clear. Twitter is one of those things where it's always negative, never positive. I don't think I ever see anything positive coming out of Twitter. I promise you. But with that being said, Twitter did bring up a good point in the last couple of weeks. And the point is simply this: the 5-card match type is too little. It's just too little, right? Like we want more wrestling. And of course, I think to myself, and Papa H we trust. I'm a big believer in Triple H. I think has done a great job since taking over. It's mostly biased because of the fact that Vince McMahon were so freaking bad that now we're nitpicking all the small things that Triple H does, but the overall product is better. But one thing people are complaining about is the 5-card match type. Bash in Berlin is going to be at 5 cards, and most of the B tier PLEs have been 5-card matches. So I'll go ahead and start with you, Ollie. Are the 5-card match types too little? Are they just right?
I think it's a very risky move. It very much depends on the quality of the matches as a whole in what you get. For me personally, I think it falls just short. I think they should have at least 6. I think 6 is the sweet spot for a PLE like this. But like I said, it very much depends on the quality of the matches that you're putting in these 5 match cards. Because if you've just finished a PLE and you've not had a single banger, they've all been absolute stinkers of matches, people are going to walk away thinking, well, hang on a minute, we've not had enough matches and they were all terrible. But if you finish your PLE and you've had 5 absolute worldies, nobody's going to care about how many matches were on the card because they were all amazing. So you need to make sure with the match card, 5 matches, which is in the eyes of most quite short, you need to make sure that they're all at least very good matches to make people forget of the fact that there's maybe not as many as they want there to be. So like I said, for me, the sweet spot should be 6, because that way you can afford 1 or 2 not great matches and then still make up with the rest, with the majority. But I don't know, I don't think 5, like I said, very much dependent on the quality. And I don't know, because if you've got, let's say, your predictable matches, right? Like your main event, your Cody Rhodes of this world, who he's only 4 months into this reign, and for a fact he's not dropping it anytime soon because storyline-wise it makes 0 sense. If you've only got that and 4 other matches on the card, what's the point of holding the PLE in the first place? Because you're not really telling any major stories. You're not producing any really good matches. So you have to make sure, you have to be ironclad, and this is a decision that you have to make before the PLE even begins, before the idea of it, when you're writing up the stories and when you're booking the matches. You have to think, and you have to be absolutely positively certain that these matches are going to absolutely slap, or you just don't put them on the card, because you do not want people walking away from that show thinking, well, we didn't have enough matches and they weren't great anyway, so what was the point of them even doing this? Because and then that will then only make the engagement just go down from there.
Right, and I think something you made some really good points there, Ollie. I think something that also needs to be considered is what WWE values, whereas a company like AEW, what they value. AEW is a company, and I want to use AEW as an example because AEW back in All In was this, like, what, 2 weeks ago at this point? No, this past weekend, actually. And this past weekend, they absolutely tore the house down. I thought it was a fantastic pay-per-view, and it was great. It really was. However, one could argue that, you know, with all the good that there was in the the pay-per-view, there was also a sprinkle of pretty bad. I think of Hook versus Jericho, not very good. We think of Britt Baker versus Mercedes Moné. For every MJF versus Will Ospreay, you're getting a Hook versus Jericho. And I don't think, you know, as a WWE guy myself, I don't want, you know, the quality of the matches to be bad just because you have all these matches continuously. I also think that the 5-card match type, and I'm going to go ahead and use this tweet by Wrestle Purist rather, and they said this is what Fightful Select ended up saying, that the shorter PLE match cards, they're going to expect to compute. WWE has actually been happy with them. And the companies say that it helps them stack Raw and SmackDown, which is especially helpful when they run SmackDown in the same city as the next night's PLE. So with that being said, there's a reason for this. There is a story reason for this. And they really want their TV shows to have really high quality. Now, when you say it like that, I begin to understand the 5-card match type. However, with that being said, when you have titles that are not consistently being defended on PLEs, like, for example, the United States title or maybe the Intercontinental title, and as of recently, the tag team titles, it begins to become like, well, are we supposed to care about these titles or not? Because they're not being showcased on the PLE. And when you think about it, you see the women's tag team titles are going to be on the PLE in Bash in Berlin. No one really cares about those titles as much as, you know, people care about the Intercontinental or the US title, except those are the titles that are going to be in the PLE. So I definitely understand what Triple H is looking for. I think they are a story-based company, and because they value quantity. Now, granted, these 5 matches could be absolute bangers. They could be absolute bangers. But I kind of agree with Ollie in the sense that we could fit in one more, no problem. Like, you could just take it back a bit on the ads, fit in one United States Championship match, fit in one tag team title match, fit in these matches so that they really match the quality, so that, you know, yes, they'll be added in there, but they won't take away from the quality of a PLE. I don't think, look, if one match is seriously going to ruin the flow of a PLE, a 5-match PLE, I don't think that then at this point it's like, okay, so you can't organize this. How do we expect you to organize, you know, a PLE like SummerSlam or PLE like WrestleMania? Now, granted, Triple H has been able to handle that with ease. But again, if we're supposed to care about these titles like the Intercontinental and the Raw title, I understand you want to make them prominent on your shows. But I think if you want to make them even more prominent, it's no shame putting them on a PLE like Bash in Berlin. Go ahead, Justin.
Well, here's the thing, and this is why I am here on my phone, because I am looking up the match cards from King of the Ring, which took place in Saudi Arabia, Elimination Chamber that took place in Australia. And what I'm noticing is the trend that it is the international PLEs that tend to get these 5-card matches. And in a way, I understand it even more. And it's me because I'm looking at it also from the business side of WWE when it comes to how can we put on the best show while also making sure that our talent, aka the superstars, are in the best place physically, health-wise, to go through a, let's say, 8+ hour travel, plus doing shows internationally, plus media appearances internationally, getting accustomed to the time zone and making it to the event. Should they explore maybe a little bit more? Yes, maybe one match more will be enough. But to the fans that are clamoring that these smaller match cards are like some detriment to the PLE schedule, it's not at all. You would not have any problems with this. One, because remember, we get a PLE every month at this point, whether it's going to be from Raw, SmackDown, or NXT. So you have like 12, 18 plus PLEs every single year between the three brands. On top of that, it is not like we are talking about one of the big headliner PLEs. This is not your Royal Rumble. This is not your SummerSlam. This is not your WrestleMania. Those are the ones where you have to have a ton of matches and a ton of work put into those. The only one that could get away with 5 matches is Royal Rumble, and that's because the men's and women's Royal Rumbles take an hour each. But what are the benefits of having these smaller shows? Your talent's more healthier. You can actually devote more time to the individual matches because let's be honest, some of these matches here, storyline wise, do need to run longer than your typical 15, 20-minute matches. They have to last a little bit longer to tell more of the story. And I feel like if you just have more matches just thrown in there, even if it does involve the mid-card titles or the tag team titles, well, you're running a couple of risks there. One, the match may not be as good, and we have seen some bad matches this year in our PLEs. And two, you may run into a show running issue where matches have to get shortened and or cut because of timing. We saw that with the Jimmy versus Jay match at WrestleMania because they were such short on time that they had to cut the match short. And they are not the only superstars that we've heard that from. If you look at interviews between them, if you look at interviews with the Bella Twins from years back, Liv Morgan, Street Profits, they have all been victims of being in packed cards on PLEs and TV shows to the point where their matches have actually been cut out completely because of the time issues. So my opinion on it, I really don't mind it. It does put added pressure on them, though, to make each match actually a banger because they can't afford any flops then with less matches.
Yeah, that's the important thing, right? Like, I think I'd have more of a problem with this if the quality of what they're putting out is not good. But the reality is, you think about all these B-tier PLEs, and none of them have been terrible. I think the only PLE that we've seen that has been objectively bad, booking-wise in particular, not necessarily match quality-wise, was Money in the Bank. And Money in the Bank, even then, from a booking standpoint, you could definitely, like, of course, picture a scenario where
the women's Money in the Bank ladder match saved that PLE.
It did, absolutely. That match, and then I thought the matches themselves were not bad either. It's just the booking decisions. It's that simple. Like you got to understand that. So I think that's really the only PLE that we've really had to complain about. But everything else, no one complained about Backlash. No one complained about Elimination Chamber. No one complained about King and Queen of the Ring. So why are we going to complain now is my question. Why is now a problem? And you said it, Justin. The quality of matches are going to be a lot better rather than just throwing in a bunch of matches and the time being short. So I think it's also a Peacock thing more definitely. I think the B tier PLEs definitely get a shorter range rather than a WrestleMania. That's a big global event, the same way with SummerSlam. So
also, please people stop complaining if you're only paying like me $5.99 or $9.99.
Yeah. That's another thing. That's another thing. Like, I don't think they're concerned about us necessarily because for us it doesn't matter. Like for us it's like $5.99. That's the lowest you can go, and you're getting a high quality PLE like SummerSlam. Like consider this: WrestleMania is this huge spectacle, and we got that for $6 for 2 WrestleMania shows. Like that's crazy. That's a bargain for me.
Remember, please, everybody, every wrestling fan, remember when we were growing up that WrestleMania on pay-per-view was over $100.
Was that how much it was?
Yeah, it was like 130 at one point.
I thought it was 60. It was 60 or where I was.
All the other pay-per-views would be 60. WrestleMania.
Oh no, yeah, you're right. WrestleMania was WrestleMania.
For me, everything was $24.99. Every pay-per-view was $24.99 on Sky, and every month I'd crawl upstairs to my parents' room and be like, Dad, can I get this replay? And he'd be like, yeah, it's only 25 quid, go on then. And that was all it was. And then it's going to get even better, because on Netflix, you unlucky fucked are still going to have to use Peacock and fucking everything for SmackDown, because it's just going to be Raw. Whereas in the UK, outside of the US, because Peacock obviously had the rights to WWE, the majority of it, we are getting Raw, SmackDown, every PLE on Netflix. So, but now it's just going to be smooth sailing. It's going to be so easy.
Is this like a USA hit piece? What's going on here? Yeah,
like
okay.
10 to 12 bucks.
We suck.
Potentially.
Oh, yeah. We suck. We absolutely suck. You guys suck because you guys have to pay $18. Like, okay, all right, we get it, Ollie. We absolutely suck. All right, we got it.
See, you said yourself, you said you should be that bad.
Growing up, you had to pay $25 for the replay.
For the
we
replay,
paid $100 for the live thing.
Well, to be fair, everything was on at midnight to 1 a.m., so I couldn't, I had school the next morning.
All right. That's enough of that. We can get into semantics later.
This is
right
content.
now, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and discuss Bash and Berlin. Right. Let's get down to the nitty gritty when it comes to this. We're gonna start with I believe the lower tier match here. In terms of the build. We're gonna start with Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair against the Unholy Union, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. And I obviously don't have very high expectations for this match. However, I do think that they are gonna surprise us a bit. Like I do think that this match is gonna definitely be I would imagine this is gonna be the opener. I don't see this match being the or if anything, it'd be I don't want to say bathroom break, because these ladies can all go, but definitely in between the first and maybe the third match of the PLE. With that being said, Justin, I'll go ahead and start with you. What are your predictions and expectations for this match?
Bianca and Jade lose, and we get our first hint of the seeded plant that is the rivalry between these two. Like I said, this is long-term booking. We have not seen these ladies in the ring in such a while, and I feel like just needing the first match to go off, and that would be them losing their chance of getting back their women's tag team titles. So while on the surface this looks like a not so interesting match compared to the rest of the card, it does have ramifications for future bookings, and that is what I'm going to be paying attention to, how they interact with each other in the ring, and those probably little small moments when one looks at the other with either doubt or frustration.
Yeah, you know what? It's very funny because I was going into this match and I'm thinking to myself, well, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn are going to be fed to Bianca and Jade, because quite frankly, the way Bianca and Jade are booked, it's literally impossible for either of them to really get pinned at all. So I'm just interested in asking this, Justin, who do you think is going to get pinned here?
Oh, you have to pin Bianca, because the WWE universe has already seen Bianca lose and get pinned. So it would have to be her if it's going to be a clean pinfall. But if you're going to have some shenanigans, then I wouldn't be shocked to see Jade Cargill get rolled up on after some crazy moment. So it could go either way, but if we're talking a clean pinfall, it's going to be Bianca.
I don't think it's going to be clean in the sense that, like, they're going to beat him outright. I do think there's got to be some, like, shenanigans involving Blair Davenport, maybe, since she's been very active with the Unholy Union. So I also really like that pairing of Blair Davenport and the Unholy Union. I think that's a great pairing. But I do think if you're going to have these guys lose, these chicks like Bianca or Jade lose, it's going to be very difficult. You're going to have some sort of distraction. Ollie, what do you think of this match and your expectations?
The build has not been great, has it? I mean, like you said, the way that Bianca and Jade have been booked, it's almost as if they're written to not lose this match, but I do think they will. I'm going to go for Fire and Dawn. And if you're asking me who I think is going to get pinned as well, I want Jade Cargill nowhere near this, both physically and metaphorically. Because then, Justin, you were talking about it, planting the seeds for a Bianca heel turn, which is the way I'm thinking. We don't necessarily go all in now and pull the trigger right now, have the heel turn happen on Saturday. But I want, like, let's say Bianca is getting the shit kicked out of her in the middle of the ring. And let's say something's happened to Jade, she's not on the apron, but Bianca doesn't know. So Bianca looks up, sees Jade's not there, then let's say gets double teamed and pinned for an Unholy Union win. But Bianca doesn't know that Jade's been taken out. So she might have just thought that Jade wants nothing to do with it. And that could be the potential fuel for a heel turn. Like I said, well, like you keep saying, Sammy, I don't think this is particularly going to be, one of the best matches on the card. Not necessarily a Beth and Ray because of what these women can bring to the table. But I just don't see. I mean, I feel exactly the same about these two as champions as I did about Damian Priest before he dropped the title.
But I'm going to piggyback off of what Ali said, but I think I have a different way of how I see this planned out. And it's kind of the most typical thing that you see with tag team matches. There's going to be an instance where either Bianca or Jade, whoever is in the ring, and I'm assuming Bianca because I don't think Jade's going to be the one to get pinned, something's going to happen to where Bianca accidentally knocks off Jade off of the apron. And then that's when you're going to see the surprise roll up 1, 2, 3. Hey, Ali, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. There was no Uncle Howdy this time. It was kind of just happened.
Oh my gosh. Ollie, were you going to finish that point you were going to say?
To be honest, I kind of forgot what I was talking about. I was trying to get
Oh my gosh, Ollie.
I'm so glad I came in with my point then.
All right, man.
We both have the same thing. This is going to plant the seeds for an eventual heel turn. This is not something that's going to happen immediately, ladies and gentlemen, so you're not going to see it at that moment. But pay attention the next 3 weeks to a month and then come back to this and let us know if we were right.
Yeah, that's let me just say this about this match is that I just don't see a scenario where Jade and Bianca lose. I don't see a real scenario. I do think that the odds of them losing are very low just simply from how they've been booked. And I do think while you'd be taking a step back if you do give them back the titles, I just don't see them, like the way they've been booked, I don't see them really losing in a way that gets any of those two pinned. So maybe it's a gut feeling. I don't know why. I just don't see these two losing at all. I'm gonna go with Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. I just think that they just want the tag teams back on those two powerhouses and maybe build up another tag team. Maybe Alba Fire and Isla Dawn get it back somehow, but I just don't see them the way they've been booked. There have been no cracks within Bianca and Jade. I just don't see how them teaming up, them like either of them getting pinned. So I see your 2 points and they're very good points. And I honestly, I don't really have anything except a gut feeling to go against those points. But it's just the way they've been booked. It's hard to really root against them. You feel me? So yeah, it's going to be a very interesting match. I do think if you're going to have Bianca and Jade lose, you have to start planting the seeds for a heel turn for one of them, because I don't want them losing without something going on. So we want that Bianca and Jade match, hopefully not by year's end, but by maybe Royal Rumble, something going on there. Next match up, we're going to go with the mixed tag team match between Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley, the Terror Twins, against the Judgment Day of Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio. Dirty Dominic Mysterio getting all the ladies. And let me tell you, the work that Dom and Liv have been putting on has been absolutely sensational. It's been pure entertainment. I don't know what it is about Dom getting booed constantly. It just brings pure joy to my soul. It's just the best thing ever. But Ollie, I'll go ahead and start with you. What are your expectations for this match, and what do you think of this match? Who's going to win?
I've very much enjoyed the build for it. It's kind of come out like I say it's kind of come out of nowhere because the match has kind of come out of nowhere. Like, I was expecting a little bit more build, especially with a storyline as big as this is. And despite me naturally being the most indecisive motherfucker on the planet, I am very torn about this match because both of the outcomes are amazing. Like, Dom and Liv are on such a good run at the moment. People are so invested in hating the fuck out of them. But you just can't back Rhea and Damien to lose. So I have really no idea. But I think I'm basing this off the fact that it's an international PLE. You know, you're gonna want to please the crowd. So I'm going for a win for the Terror Twins. Now, I think it'll be a very good match. I think this feels to me a lot like Dom and Ray at WrestleMania 39. This feels a lot like that. Like, we've been waiting for a match between these two. Like, it's been written in the stars as well. And now we're finally getting the big payoff for it. And in terms of the match itself, I think it's just going to be an absolute shit show, but in the best way possible. Like, both Damien and Rhea have such strong vendettas against Dom and Liv. So they're going to waste absolutely no time. Like, as soon as that bell goes, no one's going off to the apron. They're going to both just rush in straight forward. But I'm not here to book the fucking match. I'm just here to tell you guys what I think and who I think is going to win. So, yeah, give me the Terror Twins for this one. I think it'll be a very good match. A shame that it's getting bogged down to the mid-card. But, you know, what can you do when you've got some of the matches that are on this PLE? So, yeah, give me Damien, give me Rhea, just because, you know, it's in Bash in Berlin, it's in Germany, it's an international PLE. You're going to want to please the paying German fans who haven't had wrestling action there in a long time.
Right, and let me tell you, the build for this match, I agree, it was written in the stars. They've been teasing a Damian Priest babyface turn for some time. Rhea Ripley's been a very popular act for about a year now, so this is definitely something that a lot of people have been waiting on. I'm curious to see how the Judgment Day are going to get involved, because they're going to get involved. Let's be honest. They're the Judgment Day. They always get involved. I want to see at how much length they get involved, though. Is it going to be... I want to see exactly who's going to eat the pin, because I do think Dom and Liv are going to win this match because they need it. Who they're going to give the pin to, if it's going to be Damian Priest, if it's going to be Rhea Ripley, it's going to be very interesting. Justin, what are your expectations for this match, and what do you think is going to, who the winner is going to be?
Well, first of all, I'm surprised that Ali said that he feels like this came out of nowhere, because that means you didn't listen to your boy during the post SummerSlam episode when I called this match.
Yeah, this match was going to happen. Yep. Justin did call it.
And I said, because I'm looking at the long-term story arc of this and how it may end. I still think it may come to a climax at Bad Blood, but that leaves us with what happens here. They will not be pandering to the fans in Berlin, no matter how much y'all want to see the Terror Twins win this, and no matter how much this pains me, because I'm Puerto Rican and I can't stand the sight of Damian Priest losing, they will fall to Dirty Dom and Liv. And who's going to get the pin? Have no idea. That's the one part I can't tell you. Because at this point, both Damien and Rhea have so much hype between them that it's just like you don't know who you want to let take that fall. And I feel like it may be Liv, because I feel like Liv can go past that a lot easier than Damien would be if he was pinned.
You mean Rhea, right?
Yeah.
Rhea, right? Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I think Rhea could survive getting pinned a lot better than what Damien would do in terms of like where their hype is. Because Rhea has been running things in that women's division for such a long time that she kind of has that shield over the crowd turning against her. Now, as for how the Judgment Day is planning to get involved in this, it's going to be the way it normally is. You're going to have Carlito out there. You're going to have JD out there. JD's probably going to take the brunt of whatever punishment. And then at the very last second, you're going to have Finn Balor come out, and he's going to inevitably give whatever the last distraction is before the pinfall occurs. And why is that? Because you're going to see just Finn Balor staring daggers at Damian Priest. And that's what's going to eventually set off that match at Bad Blood, because you need this to drag out a little bit more. So that's where I think it's going to be. Give me the Judgment Day to win this, of course, by shenanigans, because they're never going to win clean. And then we're going to set the stage for the next PLE.
Right, and it's very interesting, right? Considering that you and me, Justin, have both Rhea and Damian losing, because it's hard picturing them again in a case much like Jade and Bianca. It's hard to see them losing, really. It really is. But I guess my thing would be that I think Finn Balor, Justin, you said it, would be the crucible to how Damian Priest and the Terror Twins lose. I do think Damian Priest is going to be blinded by rage. I think Rhea Ripley is going to be distracted by that. I almost think it has to be a roll-up, but it has to be a roll-up executed at a good time. It's got to be a roll-up executed at a time where it's like the height of the match, where you can't really I don't think I feel comfortable with Rhea Ripley taking a bump and being pinned clean at this point. I really do think it's got to be another fluke. I do think, because I don't think that Rhea Ripley is going to be without gold past Bad Blood. I do think at Bad Blood that title is going to change hands. So
I think if we're going to get a possibility of a roll-up loss with Jade and Bianca, it's not going to be a roll-up with Liv and Rhea. I feel like if that distraction does happen where Rhea's looking like outside the ring because Damian's out there trying to get at Finn, then you're going to see an Oblivion out of nowhere. And that's the great thing about Liv Morgan's finisher, is that she can do it in literally 4 different parts of the ring. So this distraction could take place anywhere, and you could have that same result. It would be hilarious, though, if they do it with the chair again. Like, if they just repeat what happened at SummerSlam.
Yeah. To be fair, you'd also argue that that's the opposite. I mean, if we're talking about finishes, it could be that Rhea Ripley stacks Dom on top of Liv, or the other way around, just to get revenge on the 2 main antagonists in her story.
Right, and the only problem I'd have with that is that would work if Liv Morgan beats Rhea at Bad Blood. But the problem is Liv Morgan already beat Rhea, right? She already beat Rhea. I don't think Rhea Ripley, it's going to help Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley cannot lose twice to Liv Morgan. She can't. I don't think you can have her lose twice. I just don't think that's the case. I think she's been the backbone of this division, and she deserves to be on top of this division. If you want to continue the Liv Morgan Rhea Ripley story, I wouldn't mind that either. However, I don't think it should be with Liv Morgan with the gold. I think Liv Morgan has to adapt. I think her character is good enough to adapt to the fact that she won't have a title past Bad Blood. And because of that, I just don't think that Rhea Ripley is going to do any kind of pinning. Although that's skeptical. Would be damn entertaining, right? Like just seeing Dom and Liv being pinned at the same time. I think that spectacle would be absolutely phenomenal. With that being said, I don't think it's hard to understand. I do think Dom and Liv need this win, especially the build up to this PLE has just been all Terror Twins except for one Monday Night Raw. So I definitely think the Dom and Liv are going to end up going away with this PLE victory. Now, up next, I'm going to go in a different direction. And this speaks to how the WWE Championship over on SmackDown is doing. Let's go ahead and talk about Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes, right? This matchup right here, we all know it's going to be a banger. We all know the story coming up to this. Cody Rhodes gave Kevin Owens a shot at the WWE title. Kevin Owens didn't want the shot. Cody Rhodes insisted. Nick Aldis insisted. And it was, and within this storyline, you kind of have had Grayson Waller and Austin Theory involved, which I think it's pretty nice to have Austin Theory and Grayson Waller on a high profile on SmackDown for sure. Justin, I'll go ahead and start with you. What are your expectations for this match between Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes?
I have a dream booking and I have reality. The reality of it is Cody Rhodes is going to either win or it's going to be a disqualification because A-Town Down Under will show up and, cause some distractions, probably cause the DQ. And all of a sudden you got KO and Cody fighting them or whatever. My dream is if that happens or if Cody wins cleanly, that we get a KO heel turn. Because say what you want, I know KO has been on a roll as a babyface in WWE. He is probably one of the best comedic acts that we have, and it's because he's funny without even trying half the time. But if you go back to his NXT days, the best version of Kevin Owens was when he was willing to go as far as to destroy his own friend Sami Zayn to get the gold. And that is the KO that I want to see back in SmackDown. The one that is the prize fighter, the one that is going to go after the championship no matter what he needs to do and who he needs to kill in order to do it. Sorry, don't mean to get us canceled by saying that. No matter who he needs to incapacitate in order to make it happen.
Hey, man, if he's going to be cutting off heads, I mean, it would be Cody Rhodes, I guess, especially for those Bloodline fans. I'm sure they would enjoy that. Let me say this. I think that Kevin Owens has had a very good babyface run. I think he's been a babyface since 2022 at this point, right? He has been. It's been a couple of years now. He's been a babyface. He had a babyface stint before that ended up working out pretty well. I think it's time for him to become a heel, and not the comedic heel. I'm talking about the prize fighter heel, the man who fights for his family heel. Here's the problem with this, though. Here's the real problem, and here's where I begin to become conflicted. If you're gonna turn Kevin Owens heel, right? If you're gonna turn him heel, where does that leave Randy Orton? Because I know WWE wants to do a Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes feud eventually. There's no way they don't plan on doing this. I would imagine it's been on Cody Rhodes' bucket list since the moment he got back in WWE, right? So if you're going to do that, if you're going to turn KO heel, would it be smart to turn Randy Orton heel as well? That's the question I would be asking. But before we answer that question, I'll go ahead and give my prediction what I think is going to happen to this match. First of all, I don't think Cody Rhodes is losing by any means. I think it's going to be an absolute banger of a match. I already know these two have very, very good chemistry. They've known each other for a very long time. So I imagine this match is going to absolutely bang. I don't think Austin Theory and Grayson Waller are going to get involved. I don't think they are going to get involved at all. I think they've just been part of the feud just to be part of it, just to give them TV time and to really flesh out the heel turn, or the babyface turn that's going to happen within that group with Austin Theory. So I think that's really why. I don't think they're going to get involved at all in Bash in Berlin. Really, a very predictable matchup, unfortunately. But I do think that the heel turn of Kevin Owens is not going to happen. But if it does happen, Justin, I'll ask you this before we go to Ali. Does that mean Randy Orton just doesn't turn heel, or do you think he still does?
I think we need both of them as heels. I think
Right.
SmackDown has an issue where it needs good heels. So we need them both. And I wouldn't be opposed, again, fantasy booking, I wouldn't be opposed to a triple threat match between the three. Get the American Nightmare versus the Viper versus the prize fighter.
That's a good idea. I think turning those two heel would be great. I just, man, I don't know, because it's hard. Everybody says, oh, they want Randy Orton to turn heel, right? But Justin, I actually think that KO turning heel makes more sense. It does, because what are the odds of the fans booing Randy Orton? Slim to none. I don't think they're not booing Randy Orton. Why are they going to boo Randy Orton? He's a legend.
Unless he shaves his head and goes back to punting people in the head.
even then, the people love him. Like, I don't know. Like, people are sick freaks, Justin. Like, they are.
You know what?
So-
You're right. Everybody keeps telling this dude for another tsunami every time he decides.
Yeah, literally. They're like, one more time. They were telling him one more time for R-Truth. I thought people loved R-Truth. They want that man in the hospital.
People love the Miz too.
People just love. People just want to.
People love Seth Rollins, and they still did it.
They still said one more time. Baltimore was still on their feet when he was going for another tsunami. Those sick freaks, unbelievable. Ollie, I'll go ahead and go to you before we get completely off the rails. What do you think of this matchup between Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes?
Yeah, well, it has been a very good build, and it has been a very good story, and I think it has to have been because this, like you said, is a very predictable match, unfortunately, and not a chance in hell that Cody is walking away without the Universal WWE, whatever the fuck it's called nowadays, Championship. There's too many names. It's been through the ringer, hasn't it?
I think they call it like the undisputed WWE title now. I think
Or the
that's
Uber
it.
Championship, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cody's winning. And I do think, this is why I hate going after Justin, because he says everything I want to say, and I'm going to think of something else. Like, I
Oh, you can
was
always build on
exactly...
it.
Yeah, I was exactly thinking of a Kevin Owens heel turn. And if we're playing fantasy booker, I think we're going to get a ref spot, and then we're going to get a Kevin Owens low blow. That will be the way, because there is no better way to signify yourself as a top heel in a company than to smash the treasured babyface's testicles. There is no better way. That's how you do it. You hit the low blow, unless you're Tonga lower, then you slap him in the ass. I
I'm ignoring that. I'm just gonna.
Besides that, that is how you do a heel turn. You take your champion, you give him one of these, and then everybody hates you. People love to hate you. And regarding like turning heel with people still cheering for you, that's just because I think we live in an age now where people appreciate the good shit. Like when people were chanting one more time for Bronson Reed with the tsunamis, about 25 of them. They were chanting one more time because they love to see that. They know that Bronson's been so underappreciated since he got called up, and they want to see him just fucking devour people. They want to see murder. And that's exactly what they got with Seth Rollins, with Braun Strowman on top of the car.
But
That's
because
what they
we are
get.
still in the broadcasting era of wrestling,
True.
you're limited on what you can do on these heel turns to go crazy. Remember, Randy's heel moment was when he not only punted but kissed Stephanie McMahon in front of Triple H.
What are the odds of Randy kissing Brandy Rhodes on?
No, I was thinking of KO
Like-
stunning Brandy.
Oh, I mean, KO standing. I mean, I think both questions are very valid. Look, what are the odds of those two things happening?
It's not gonna happen. But if you really wanted everybody to turn against KO, that would be the thing to do. But
Man.
we're not in that era. Maybe next year when we go over to Netflix. I know it's
Maybe.
only for Raw, but maybe
with
not.
Raw, they have the ability to do so many things when they go to Netflix. But yeah, I do think Cody Rhodes is going to win this. Justin, you agree? Cody Rhodes will win this match. This reign is going to be going on until at least WrestleMania 41 for sure. With that being said, let's go ahead and turn to a rivalry that has heated up. SummerSlam's match was very good in my opinion. I expect this match to be a lot better. I'll be honest though, I'm a bit disappointed with the concept. I'm talking about CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. Now, I'll go ahead and start because I do want to get this off my chest. I do think that the strap match concept is good in theory. I don't like the four corners thing. I don't. I just don't think. I think it's outdated. I think it's ridiculous. And I think they're just doing this because they really want to protect Drew McIntyre. And they want Drew McIntyre. I think they want Drew McIntyre to lose, but they don't want him to get pinned. I genuinely think that's what's going to happen here. I don't know. I don't know what it is about the strap match in the WWE style. I just think that tapping the four corners is just, it's not necessarily, I get it, the skeptical of it. They're going to beat the hell out of each other, and then they're going to incapacitate each other just to go ahead and tap the four corners. I got you just a second, Justin. I can already read your mind. I already know what you're about to say. But I just think that the concept of it, if these two really hate each other, right? If these two really have animosity toward each other, why not just make it a strap match straight on go? Like, just make it a strap match. If there's real heat between these guys, not real heat, but like actual heat between these guys, why make it a 4-corner tap when you could just make it a strap match, go beat each other up, see who's the man standing, okay? I think the match is going to be great regardless. I think this match is going to be phenomenal regardless. I just think the 4-corner tap thing completely outdated, and I wish they would have done without it. Justin, I know you have a lot to say, so.
Wait, because this is the first I'm hearing. Wait, it's actually confirmed that it's the 4-corner one.
Yep, it is the 4-corner.
Are we just magically bringing out JBL to be a special guest referee while we're at it? Because
I love that.
That's not. This is not the matchup to have that kind of match for.
Right.
I'm sorry. What is it?
Wait. You're learning this in real time, Justin?
No. Yes. No. We are supposed to have the Cody Rhodes versus Shinsuke Nakamura style strap match, where it's win by pinfall or submission, not by putting tap, tap, tap on the dang ring post. Because what is that going to do? What is that going to do for this rivalry? Are we just going to have a repeat of it where like one person jumps on the other one and taps on one of the turnbuckles, and that's how that's determined who wins? I need them to beat the living snot out of each other. I thought the strap match was going to be that, a way for them to beat each other like rabbit mules, beat each other like they did with the belts to each other back on Raw. Let me calm down, because
I'm surprised you didn't know these things, Justin. I thought you were.
No, I heard it was a strap match. I just didn't know it was the dang turnbuckle one. I haven't heard of that one ever since it turned into a Texas bull rope match at one point. Oh my God, they're gonna ruin this rivalry.
They're not gonna ruin the rivalry at all. I don't go that far. I just think that it's a ridiculous concept for a strap match. And considering the classics that CM Punk has had with a strap match over in AEW, I would have thought that in WWE they would have said, you know what, let's go ahead and go all in on this and have this become a strap match. The same, I think Cody Rhodes and Shinsuke Nakamura. You're going to look it up again, Justin?
Yes, I am.
It's happening, buddy. It's happening, bro. I'm sorry. Ollie, you can go ahead and continue. What are your expectations for this strap match?
I'm actually, kill me if you want, I'm looking forward to it. I mean,
okay, go ahead,
I definitely fully agree with the point you made, Sammy, that this is the best way possible to protect Drew McIntyre in this. Like, you don't want him to get pinned, but you also don't want him to win because you had his big win at SummerSlam. And I also feel like this is the perfect type of match for CM Punk to win. I mean, I just think, like, typical babyface win, but also CM Punk. We've established that Punk, while he is the mega babyface, just cannot find a way to beat Drew. But with the 4 corners thing, that introduces a way to put Punk over while also protecting Drew, as you keep saying. And I believe, I'm also looking forward to it because I believe this is the first strap match of this kind, I want to say, since The Fiend took on Daniel Bryan at Royal Rumble 2020. I think this might be the first.
No, because that one involved submission.
Did it?
Yes, that was pinfall and submission. This has not happened since freaking JBL.
This is very old. This is a very old.
It might have been. I think the last one might have involved Rusev.
Hold on. I actually have a. You think CM Punk might have like forgotten that You think CM Punk was so like into that old WWE stuff that he just forgot that those strap rules were like outdated?
You think he pitched this?
You think he was the one who pitched this?
Well, if that's what you're saying.
Considering the success that he had in AEW with the strap match in general, I don't think he would have. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's such a weird thing to do.
Because this very much the strap match idea in general very much ties into the Drew McIntyre having the AJ and Larry bracelet.
I swear to God,
it's the
watch
whole-
CM Punk lose just because of that bracelet.
That would be the most CM Punk thing.
Look, CM Punk.
Yeah, I
CM
just think he's
Punk
gonna win.
I think you don't think CM Punk's gonna win.
No, I do, but because I think this is the perfect type of match for him to win. Because you're not pinning Drew, you're protecting him, but you're also getting Punk over fucking finally. Because I don't think he's won a match since
Because at Bad Blood, they're gonna be inside Hell in a Cell. You gotta imagine.
Exactly,
right?
and that is when you have the big culmination of they're gonna fucking kill each other.
But like, here's my thing.
You can afford to have a comedy style match in between now.
But my thing is that this is like such a long feud where they wanted to get their hands on each other, Ollie. It feels like they should be killing each other now. Like they could go all in on in Bad Blood for sure. And I think that's where CM Punk and Drew McIntyre are going to drop their classic. But considering how much this build has become, I don't know, man. I'm not the biggest fan of the four. Like, I get why. I think I get why they're doing it because, you know, they want to protect Drew. They want to put over CM Punk, but they don't want Drew to. I get that. I just think given the circumstances of what their feud is, I don't think.
What? I'm going to call it. I'm going to call how this match is going to end. And this is why it's pissing me off so much.
You're so pissed, Justin. I could tell. You're so mad.
Here's how it's going to end. CM Punk is going to do something to knock out Drew McIntyre. I don't care if it's a GTS. I don't care if it's a chair shot. I don't care if it's a kick to the head. And he's going to go tap, tap, tap. And before he gets to the last one, he's going to turn around and notice that the dang bracelet is on one of the other corners. And he's going to get so distracted with it that he's going to try to go toward it, gets pulled, turns around, boom, Claymore. And then, boom, Drew McIntyre wins this.
No. Alternative idea. They've both tapped. They're both staggering, barely walking. They both have tapped 3 corners each. They're scrapping to get to the last one. CM Punk notices the bracelet on Drew's wrist. He's grabbing at it. He's trying to pull it. But as he pulls the bracelet off of him, Drew falls back onto the final corner, taps it, and wins. But CM Punk has the bracelet.
This is why I hate this match. Because this is why I hate this match. This is exactly why I hate this match. Because this is such bullcrap. You guys hearing yourselves? Why can't we just have them pin each other or tap each other out? This has been a blood feud for like 8 months.
This is exactly what we got at SummerSlam.
Unbelievable.
At what point did we start talking about this? Minute 40?
Look, bro, you got pissed off.
I'm setting this
for about 10 minutes.
You got pissed off because you just found out just now that this strap match was going to be the 4-corner BS. Yes. That's you. You got pissed off. But look, we'll go ahead and move on because I know I feel the veins popping up because I am actually really upset that this is a 4-corner strap match. Let's talk about what I presume to be the main event of this PLE. And that is Gunther versus Randy Orton. This is a very anticipated rematch that they've had since King and Queen of the Ring. Let me just say that I'm still not over the fact that Justin did not figure out until just now that it's just I can't believe that.
To the audience, if you want to know why we're laughing so much, we have a group chat for this wrestling show, and I just put in our group chat minute 40 me crashing out over this.
Yeah, he just crashed out. Like I thought you knew, Justin. I thought we can move on. Gunther versus Randy Orton. Ollie, I'll go ahead and start with you, bro.
This has been, and I think it is going to be, a match for the ages. Like, I know Gunther's not technically German, but come on. You stick anyone from Europe anywhere in Europe, you're getting a reaction. And you're getting Gunther in Berlin. Oh my God. The only thing that pains me about this card as a whole is the fact that we're not, as it stands, getting Ilya Dragunov. Another one who could have paid off very much and got an immense reaction like Gunther would have. I think that might have been the match instead of putting Randy Orton against him, but I still think I was under the thought that if not Dragunov, Randy Orton is a solid backup. if you can call it a backup, because this is still going to absolutely cook anyway. I mean, I think, to be fair, that there is no loser here, because we're still going to get Gunter Dragunov somewhere down the line, because I don't think Randy's going to win. I think Gunter's going to retain. It's too early on in his reign for him to be dropping the title up, for them to be thinking about taking the title away from him. But you're still going to get further down the line Gunter Dragunov. We're going to run that back at some point eventually. But a match like that, and to have Gunter in technically his home country, whatever,
continent,
beats somebody with the in his home planet.
His home continent. My goodness. Go ahead, keep going on.
Yeah, Gunter in his home galaxy, beating someone of the caliber and of the prestige, or should I say prestige, of Randy Orton. That's going to be huge. And I think if I was a local attending the PLE, I would still be under the conception that, okay, Gunter's winning. So I'd expect it anyway. I'd be predicting it regardless. But we're going to get very many. This screams to me like a match with at least 10 near falls. Like, there's going to be so many. These two are going to take each other to the absolute limit. And Gunter is still going to win. Because I was talking earlier when we mentioned in the mixed tag match about crowd pleasing. You cannot get more crowd pleasing in Germany than having Gunter go over as the champion against Randy Orton. And for that exact reason, I'm going for Gunter to retain.
I agree with everything you just said. Nothing else really needs to be said about Gunther and how amazing he's been in WWE. I think his reign is going to be very long, very fantastic, just because I think one thing that he improved upon, while also being a very good in-ring presence, being sensational in the ring, one of the best in the world, no doubt, his heel tactics, his mannerisms on what he speaks, it's very to the point, very sophisticated, but because of Gunther's style, it works. And I think that's important. I don't think we've had a heel like Gunther who just says, I'm just better than you in this ring. The mat is sacred. I'm going to pin you 1, 2, 3. And it's as simple as that. And it works for him because he's just so good in the ring. We haven't had that in WWE ever, in my opinion. I don't think we've had a heel like that. So usually the heels in WWE very conniving, very tactical. They have like a faction or something. This heel is straight up saying, I'm better than you. 1v1, I'm going to be better than you, and I'm going to beat you 1v1 every single time. And he does. And I think that fits his character absolutely perfectly. I think Gunther's going to go over here against Randy Orton. But I also want to add this. I think this is going to be the start. If Kevin Owens doesn't turn heel, I think this is the start of Randy Orton's heel turn. I think next PLE, we're going to get a Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes match. I think Cody Rhodes, much like Randy Orton, much like Kevin Owens, is going to give Randy Orton a match because he's been backing him up. And I don't understand the track record of what Randy Orton's been going through. Randy Orton at Royal Rumble lost. Elimination Chamber, he lost. At WrestleMania, he lost. At Backlash, he lost. King and Queen of the Ring, he lost. I don't think he had a match at Money in the Bank. Then SummerSlam comes in, he lost. Did he have a match at SummerSlam? He did, right? I don't think he did. I don't think he had a match at SummerSlam. No, he didn't have it. Wow, he didn't have a match at SummerSlam. That's he didn't have a match at SummerSlam. And now he's about to lose in Berlin. I think this is going to be the start of where Randy Orton starts to get a little crazy. Like, he's starting to crave that number. And he's been alluding to it in his promos. That number of tying, I think he's, what, a 15-time world champion or a 14-time world champion?
He is a
14-time, right? Yeah, 14-time, yeah. I think him chasing that record is going to start eating at him. And I think this is where we're going to new side of Randy Orton. Not a new side, because he's always been a fantastic heel. But one of those things where he's going to become that heel that's starving for that number to increase. So I think this is very good for Randy Orton. Absolutely. I think this loss is going to be the first loss that actually benefits him. Yes, he's going to put Gunther over for sure, but I think this is going to turn him to a storyline back on SmackDown that's going to be very engaging in his feud with Cody Rhodes and potentially Kevin Owens. And Justin, we'll go to you.
So let's keep it short and simple. We all are in agreement that Gunther is going to win this match over it. And what I am really looking forward to, and I'm surprised it took us this long to even talk about it, because these international PLEs, the crowds are probably some of the loudest I ever hear. So when Randy Orton's music hits, I am looking forward to hearing them sing that whole thing outright. But going into the match, I feel like this is going to be match of the year. Like, if we're still doing the Slammy Awards next year, this is match of the year. You have two extremely high-level sports entertainers, competitors, and they're both arrogant because they both know their skill sets. And you are going to see tons of near falls. You're going to see tons of attempts at sleeper holds, at power bombs, at RKOs. The only thing that can ruin this match, and it's in the back of my head that it may happen, is if Kaiser tries to get involved. But hopefully they keep this clean, because the one thing Gunther needs is this big win to solidify himself as like the man at the top of the totem pole. Because that is what he's going to need if he's going to continue holding that title on Monday Night Raw. Now, for Randy, this is exactly how we're going to start getting that little bit of heat going his way, because he is going to have that heel turn at some point. And you're right. The record is right there. He knows all too well that John Cena is having his farewell tour coming up. So if there's any time for him to get up there where he could tie for the record with Cena and Ric Flair, this may be his last shot. Let's think about it. When was the last time we've heard Randy Orton having a world title opportunity? With Brock, maybe?
During lockdown against Drew.
A long time. Lockdown was like the last time.
Like when we were all at home.
He's been, a lot of people forget, Randy Orton has been in the mid card since 2022. Like, it's been, and then all of 2023, pretty much he was hurt. And now he's back, and he's been in the world title scene. He did have a world title match at Royal Rumble, but since then it's been kind of just like mid-card, mid-tier feuds, and then bloodline stuff.
Yeah, so honestly, it's overdue. If we want to put Randy Orton back in this main card, like main event thing, he has to lose this match, and we have to have that heel turn to get the Viper back, the real Viper, the real Legend Killer, that apex predator that kind of shot him into the stratosphere. And that is going to happen starting in Bash in Berlin. Everybody's going to be there. The beers are going to be pouring. Everybody's going to be yelling out like crazy. And when you hear 1, 2, 3, just pay attention to the look on Randy's eyes, and it'll tell you everything you need to know what's to come.
Yeah, that's exciting. And I think that Bash in Berlin, not much to be excited about in terms of like predictability. I think this is one of the more predictable PLEs we're going to get this year. But I do think this PLE can lead to something a lot greater concerning Kevin Owens, concerning the Judgment Day, concerning Randy Orton, right? There are so many things. We're getting the blow off between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre as well. Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, we could see some splits there. So much could really happen at this PLE. And I think that's why, even though it is predictable, everywhere you turn, you might be expecting something that you didn't really expect to see. So that's why this PLE, even though it's predictable, you'll want to be there to watch just to see how it breaks down. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the WWE Fight Pit here at House Call Sports. My name was Sammy HT, Justin, and Ollie. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Follow all our social media handles. And that's going to be it for us. Peace.